Fearless and inventory side by side in the same sentence? Seriously? Yeah, that's a stretch. These 2 steps require us to unpack the closet, scatter our dirty little secrets all over the floor, and if that's not bad enough, we then have to examine those defects of character, talk with God about them, and then show them to someone else. I mean, I've never met anyone who's been able to go through this process without at least a little fear. In fact, of all the steps, step 4 and 5 hold the title for causing the most relapses. Time and time again, I've watched newcomers bolt for the door and into the arms of their disease rather than face these steps. I mean, we all have those deep, dark little corners of our emotional closet where our nasty little skeletons live. We spend our lives stuffing the shame away. We've bolted and closed that door, and nothing on God's green earth can convince us to ever so much as peek back inside. Nothing, that is, except these steps and the promises of a new beginning. Time to start unpacking, my friend. Now, when I started working these steps, I tried desperately to lie to myself. Now, I don't have to address my past. May God forgave me. No need to drag all that out. In hindsight, I'm really glad I didn't listen to that voice. I mean, I eventually summoned the courage to walk through these steps while strapped to a lie detector. Literally. Now, allow me to elaborate. Early in my sobriety, I applied to be a reserve deputy for the Sheriff's Department. Now, as a part of the screening process, they require you to fill out a polygraph questionnaire that involves over 200 questions that ask about every immoral act I've ever committed. They wanted to know if I ever lied, if I ever stole anything, if I ever cheated, if I was ever late on a credit card payment. I mean, everything. But not only that, they wanted details. I was forced to take a serious look at everything I'd ever done wrong in my life. Then, when I was finished filling out the document, I was hooked up to a polygraph machine while a detective went through every single question with me one at a time. For the first time in my life, I admitted to another human being things I had never told anyone. And an amazing thing happened. I felt great. I was able to finally sift through all the garbage of my past, study it, then throw it away. It was as if this enormous weight was lifted from my shoulders. I had shared my every darkest deed with another human being and survived. I discovered at that moment that all of these things that I had so much shame over just weren't that big of a deal. I wasn't a bad guy. I mean, just because I had done bad things in my life didn't make me a bad person. Now, I know what you're thinking. What, I have to admit my transgressions to a cop? Forget it! Relax. That was my path. You don't have to do that. But with that said, we do need to get you started on taking your personal inventory. So, take out a sheet of paper and make 2 sets of columns like before. Now, write actions at the top of the first column, and on the second column, write defects. Now, under actions, you'll write everything you've ever done wrong in your life. And yes, this step is going to take a while. Now, I want you to take your time and notate every person you've ever wronged. Family, friends, a boss, maybe even a stranger, or maybe you were the person that you wronged. Write that down too. Now, under defects, I want you to write down why you committed each of those acts. An easy starting point on this would be the 7 deadly sins: jealousy, anger, pride, lust, greed, sloth, gluttony. Some more defects are vanity, fear of abandonment, impatience, fear of authority, manipulation, and so on. So, for instance, you might write, I stole money from my grandmother under the action column, and next to that, under defects, you might write greed as the reason you stole. There may even be more than one defect involved in each action, so go ahead and write whatever you think applies. Make sense? Now, it's also important that you recognize your good character traits as well, and that's what the second column is for. Think of as many good and noble things that you've done for other people and jot those down in the first column. In the second column, again, write down why you did it. Maybe it made you feel good, or because you love your mother, whatever. Unpack your positive qualities and don't be afraid to revel in how awesome you are. As your personal inventory grows, you'll start to notice patterns of behavior develop. And the same defects of character will pop up over and over and over again. And that's okay. That's normal. Now comes the fun part. Step 5.